Welcome to Open Palms. This is once again me and Napalm doing a dual cast. And this one we got Carnival Rust, who is better known as Deathly, versus Yama, both playing Aeon. Both players know this map as well as anybody. Played, I'm sure, 100 games between these two.
I'd like to make a comment that our last game was Russia versus Russia. This one is Russia versus Russia, and one of our commentators is Russian, so I don't know if
Yeah,
there's a trend here or what,
the
but
Germans are also pretty well represented here, but Russians are
uh,
only top 10. There isn't too many in top 50. But that's what happens. It's most likely going to see some second air between these two, and we'll see if Deathly does some more heavy eco build in this one. Although Yama, I think out of all the players, and especially Yama recently, has been much better. When he's at top of his game, he can beat anybody on this map.
and especially in the eco game, Yama is incredibly strong.
Yeah,
He really is. I mean, sometimes to watch him eco, it's like watching a pro sentence player.
actually, one of the players that I learned to recycle my pigeons when I was watching Svetavoy Dim Yama way back in the day, and he showed just how powerful it was. He would just get this huge boost, getting a couple extra tech to mask characters from his tech pigeons. Maybe he'll do that again. It looks like an early light assault bot from Deathly. Let's see what he
Yeah,
does with it.
going in the non-standard direction here, I would expect it to go to the other side where the rocks are.
Yeah, where you usually get it stuck on the mountain. Yeah, that was a nice
Yeah.
move. But that's also the side where the ACU usually moves out. And
Uh, I don't know if it's where it usually goes. I mean, it seems to be it can go either way
that's true.
because the
Yeah.
distance is the same. But you're right. The player down here does tend to go to the top usually.
Yeah, actually, if you look at the map, it looks quite symmetric. And what we're seeing here is absolutely crazy from Deathly. He is going a land spam. Oh, actually, he's going third air. But this is so weird to see Hydro, such a late Hydro. And he's walking not in a straight line here. Uh, but only third air. So I think this could be a big advantage for Yama if he's able
And
to get his air quicker.
if you look at his Hydro NG, he's gonna pick up some reclaim, then go straight for the other Hydro, which is very weird. I mean, players actually usually ignore the Hydros in the expansions, and he's rushing it.
Yeah, this is something new and weird by Deathly. And if you look at it, the eco is half the power. But let's see if Deathly can pick off an engineer.
He's definitely being inventive here. He's gonna have to go deep into Yama's base to kill this. The ACU is in the area. And here
Yeah,
comes the ACU from Yama. This will be close. Some nice dodging there. And the NG does go down.
yeah,
The
but a bomber
flare.
coming out. Yeah, that was
And a
some nice
flare.
micro.
Yeah, flare on the other side gets picked off by Yama.
Yep, 2 kills and not Aurora. And this flare can make a big nuisance of itself if it gets behind. Yeah, these early flares are very good long-term investments.
And now Bomber out for Yama, going straight up, and it's on a patrol route now.
Any expanding engineers on open palms are huge. And it looks like a bomber from Deathly, so third air, but still going bomber. That's not really giving much respect to Yama.
No, it's not actually. That could be a big mistake, except that Yama. Well, actually, yeah, Yama has an interceptor out already, so it is going to be a mistake from Deathly.
Yeah, I think this bomber from Yama should be able to see the bomber from Deathly and then guide the interceptor in the right direction. It'll really go down to a little bit of micro from Yama.
I don't really like this patrol move with the bomber from Yama.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that
very
just
strange.
lets the bomber really do whatever it wants, and usually that's
It
not a
does
good
something
idea in this
stupid,
game.
yeah. You really gotta tell the units what to do. They don't know what the hell they're doing. And here, Deathly, I think, is gonna get a much better bomb. But he's
Oh man.
bombing the interceptor. He's
Okay,
got
so he has bombed the factory. His bomber will be killed immediately.
yeah. He killed a half-built interceptor, but that was really not that good.
Now
Meanwhile,
here comes the flare swinging around the back of the mountain.
oh
Now the
yeah,
question is, will Deathly? He has seen it. Is he going to react in time? Though that's the question. He just runs right past it,
uh,
and it gets killed by.
lost opportunity. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too bad. But it looks like Deathly was able to defend against the bomber, although it looks like air domination now by Yama, at least temporarily.
Yama definitely with air control, but he's not really going crazy with that. He's not rushing bombers or anything to take advantage. He's just content to sit on his air advantage for now, and definitely going with another bomber. I don't understand that.
Definitely a little quicker on the hydros. He doesn't really have too many pigeons at all, except those two hydros are giving him most of his power. He is a little slower on the expansions as well. I think a much quicker for Yama grabbing the right expansion, plus the ACU really well utilized to get the expansion on the left, and a bomber now from Deathly.
If it can deny this Hydra, that'd be an excellent bomb. It
Yep.
does do that successfully. So
Yeah, I'd love to
partially
see
go
it go
ahead.
in the back here, kill the engineer in the back would be a good move. If you can go as far away as possible, you can force the interceptors of Yama to be way out of position.
Well, the interceptors have now targeted the bomber, so it really won't get away from them.
Yeah, I think bombing the ACU there was not the best target, but he may have thought that was an engineer. Been quite devastating.
And now, definitely being extremely aggressive here, and sometimes this can be very dangerous on a map like this. If Yama were to be sending lots of units down here, definitely could easily get himself trapped.
Yeah, there's quite a few really good players. That's what they do. They aggressively come in. They try to establish a base. That way, they deny one of the expansions with the ACU. But in this case, we're gonna see both ACUs on the same side, so that's not really gonna work. Deathly will need to retreat at some point, and the question is, will he retreat in time?
And you can see Yama being kind of passive here. He knows that Deathly cannot push any farther, so he might just let him sit there.
Yeah,
But now units moving across to try and cut him off.
because Yama does not know. He does not have radar coverage in the top, so he does not know if there's a huge force following up. But of course, we know
Which
there isn't.
now the production has been switched though, so Yama's opportunity is going away.
Yeah, there's a
And
transport
the
for Deathly.
transport, assumably that'll be used to get the sides, but Deathly has been playing kind of strange in this one, so you never really know.
Yep, Deathly retreats. And two interceptors thrown away by Deathly. And a bomber from Yama with 4 kills. This is something we missed. It's probably just some Auroras. I don't think it's engineers, but still.
Yeah, it was Aurora's, and now the bomber has not even dropped a bomb,
Yeah, I forgot to give it
and
an assignment. Now it's just gonna get killed.
well,
So
no,
very even now.
he forgot to remind that it's not a UEF bomber.
Yeah, you're actually supposed to do something. And looks like, yeah, the Deathly is gonna grab the bottom ledge. Otherwise, the map
Deathly,
control is so even.
yeah, but whenever the map control is even on this map and somebody gets a ledge, it can be a game changer right there. Looks
Definitely,
like
especially at the Tech 2 stage, that ledge becomes huge with cruise missiles. You can actually put Tech 2 point defenses, deny one of the expansions.
yeah, actually, with ever since NGMod became standard gameplay, you can get support factories up here and get mobile missile launchers, and then Tech 3 RD on the ledges. It becomes insane.
Yeah, definitely. And actually, if you think about Tech 2 artillery, it is 2000 mass, but it has huge range. And I think people in the future are going to start building it a little more often because it can be a very big nuisance.
So Yama knows something up. He's hunting for the transport, but he missed it by
Right.
a few seconds.
While he's hunting on the left side, Deathly just going to go ahead and drop on the right side. That's pretty ridiculous.
But it looks like Yama is challenging for this ledge. He's got a factory half built. And this is what I like to do on this map. I
Yeah,
don't really like to put the energy into getting a transport when you can just build factories right on the ledge.
yeah. Ever since you mentioned that to me, I've been using that, and I think it's definitely you can get a plan for getting up there for quite early on. You get there in good time.
Now, where is this transport going? What? I don't understand. This must be a misclick or something.
I think he's making fun of Yama. This is so ridiculous. If he actually gets that to drop, and I've seen I think in the past people dropping onto these mountains, but it's very difficult to
Yeah,
pull off.
yeah, but they usually drop Artie or something. I remember Pebble doing that against Voodoo back on GPGNet.
Yeah,
But
it looks like the joke is not
just
gonna work.
yeah,
Some artillery for Deathly breaking through a point defense here, harassing, and actually some units moving past. This will be good denial on the and actually Deathly moving in multiple directions through the middle, up top, and on the left.
I don't think he has the numbers on any of those fronts to actually make a significant push, though. So he's really gonna have to retreat and make bigger forces. And some interceptors getting taken out by point defense, never really good.
Yeah, that's not your
And
standard anti-air.
and pretty soon Yama will have two factories on this ledge on the right hand side, so he'll almost certainly get this upper expansion and even out the map
Definitely
control.
has no idea that anything's happening. That he does not have radar. He did not have the visual. And it looks like the middle is now going to be taken by Deathly. There was 4 mask structures that did belong to Yama. Interesting, Deathly going back home. It seems, and in terms of upgrading, there hasn't really been much. There's a Tech 2 mask structure for Deathly, 2 air factories, very even on power. There's looks like a third Tech 2 mask structure for Yama, so he might be slightly ahead, but of course he does have that fairly big map control disadvantage with the sides.
And Yama's gonna have to make his advantage on the right count because if he's just gonna be piling up those units, it's gonna become wasted mass until he can take that side. Has he actually scouted is the question. He actually has no idea if there's anything there.
Yeah, and
So
this
he
bomber
doesn't.
from Yama has been absolutely brutal already, 10 kills.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed so far on this top side. Yama has been harassing with bombers this entire game, and he's taken out large quantities of auroras with those.
Yeah, and yeah, there is a reclamation field getting built up on the top side.
And there goes another 5 kills for the bomber, up to 15.
Yeah, that's a very good bomber. That's what
Some
happens when you actually give him orders.
stationary anti-air for Deathly going up. He wants to put an end to this nonsense, and here comes the bomber again. This time it doesn't drop a bomb. That can get really annoying because the slightest unit movement below it can cause it to get confused.
Yeah, I think that bomber is now officially confused and it's going to die soon. Although, it's just circling.
It might actually get. If he micros it now, he could get another bomb up.
He could. I've seen Seraphim bombers do things like this, but
And there it goes.
no, that did not work out. And it looks like those ledge factories worked out for Yama. Yama's going to even out
Yep.
the ledges. And actually on both sides, I think Yama is going to get map control back.
Yeah, actually, I missed these factories back here for Yama, so worked out very well for him.
Yeah.
One thing that people tend to forget is that there's huge forests on the ledges.
Yeah.
In the back,
Oh,
in
for
this,
sure. Yes.
in these little ice mountain things, there's a huge
There's a lot
forest
of
in each
power.
one of them.
Interesting, a Tech 2 radar for Deathly close to the middle. That's huge.
It is giving him, but he has no power, so it's not really doing much at the
Yeah,
moment.
he was building a row of radars in the back of his base. They're actually behind his base. That's very annoying when that happens.
And Tech 2 Air now coming up for Yama. I mean, for Deathly.
Yeah.
And
He's gonna have to
there
get
we
some
go.
tech to power. And actually, Yama has really taken over map control, and that has translated into a big mass advantage as well. Tech 2 land for Yama with blazes.
yeah, so now we officially see Tech 2 Land versus Tech 2 Air. On this map, in the short run, Tech 2 Air might be better in small quantities, but Tech 2 Land eventually is much more valuable, I think.
Yeah, as A on Tech 2 Air will give you the Mercy, so that really makes the ACUs go back home. And those gunships you can raid, so far you can take over the ledges, all these mask structures that are all over the place. As long as you don't run into Tech 2 flak, you can really deny quite a bit. Yep, Tech 2 power.
So what we see right now is that Deathly is doing a much better job of taking the trees on his side, and he's actually using the thing where you can reclaim in tree chunks
Yeah.
in the back here. So, and I expect that he'll have reclaimed a lot more power. Yeah, he's reclaimed. I
17,000.
forgot to actually look at the numbers. Yeah, he's about 6,000 power ahead in terms of reclaim.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I love getting a very good base in the back there. If you're secure on the sides, you get those mask structures, they're not going to hit by cruise missiles. You can put your HQ factories there, which makes the area pretty secure. And yeah, I think it's a very neglected part of this map.
Yeah. At the very least, you should have a Tech 1 factory there to make engineers to reclaim the trees.
Yeah, they definitely
And
pay for themselves.
yeah, and it looks like Yama is not taking advantage of his his ledge control, I should say, because he does not have engineers there to reclaim the trees. And he's not reclaiming the trees in the back either. So really big
Yeah,
waste from
this is
Yama
when a
there.
player does things like this, like what Yama, they're just asking to get dropped. You just drop a couple arty there and you just deny all that. So it's yeah, it just does not make sense. Although maybe Yama knows something we
Yeah,
don't know, but I don't think so.
yeah, I wouldn't criticize him too much, but on this, I mean, it's really strange to not be reclaiming any of the trees.
Yeah, the Blaze is now making their appearance on the front lines for Yama. They're basically 10 times as much health as an Aurora, have the same range. Actually, they have a slightly shorter range, but fast fire rate, they really get a lot of kills.
Yeah, so this is really the big engagement here, and I think Deathly with slightly better unit control, he has them bunched up. Because Yama is kind of presenting a narrow face to him.
And here come the gunships, see if
And
they
here,
make a
yeah,
difference.
Tokyo Gunships looks like they're beelining for the side. He wants to deny that, but really he's way too late to deny the ledge at this point. Some
Yeah,
Tech 1 anti-air.
that's really all it's going to take. And it's
Looks like
really,
yeah, and a standoff here on the left side. Looks like Yama wants to pick a fight.
yeah, Deathly's
Not
ACU
sure if
is
that's the
right there
best
as well.
move.
Have some point
Big numbers for
defenses.
Deathly.
It's fairly even, I think, but with the ACU and the point defense, I think Deathly's going to get this victory. Although a nice sneaky move on the left side by Yama, he's going to push a whole bunch of units through. And a lot of tech to mask tractors in the back for Deathly. Those could be in jeopardy now. With Deathly, pretty big air force and tech to mask tractors going over the right ledge, and on the left ledge also a gunship. So the gunships for Deathly really going to work. And actually in the back here for Yama, he's got a bunch of very unprotected tech to mask tractors.
Yeah, that's not good. A drop of just a few RDs will easily kill all that, and there won't be anything Yama can do about that.
Yeah, we're engineers, just build a point defense and reclaim those. Always
Yeah,
a good thing.
basically drop anything back there, and these mexes are completely helpless.
Looks like both players about 2k power, a couple of tech to power generators, a lot of TMD for Yama. I've seen multiple places.
And these tanks in the back that Yama has managed to sneak through should not be standing there. They need to be running before Deathly can defend his
Yes,
back
definitely.
base.
That will force a bunch of point defenses from Deathly. And
It
on the
looks
other
like,
side, the engagement's pretty big.
yeah, it's still going on. The Tech 1 anti-air forces the gunships away. 11 kills for one of them. Good gunship from Deathly.
So
And
much
looks like,
reclaim there.
yeah, Yama is not interested in the back anymore. I guess he anticipates the Deathly will be making point defenses, so he just goes around. Tech 2 mask tractor unprotected there.
Yeah, that's a good move from Yama. And yeah, a couple very aggressive engineers from Yama are going to get a little too close. But this gunship force now from Deathly could be very dangerous. It's getting bigger and bigger. I think that if that finishes the ledge, it can swing down and deny all his tech to mask tractors.
Here they come now. And I've noticed both players making significant amounts of TMD, but neither of them actually has missiles. So
Yeah,
very paranoid from both
very
of them.
different from Zlo. Yeah.
Yeah. Tech 3 land now coming up for Yama. He doesn't have too much build capacity there, but that's what he's doing.
Yeah, actually, Deathly is already at Tech 3 land. He's got Harveys coming out. First Harvey,
Oh, and
I
he's
believe.
got a very solid production. And actually, with less map control, Deathly, well, at least temporarily, had more mass income than Yama.
Yeah, those Harveys are going to be just in time because this Tech 1 force for Deathly just getting ran over. Deathly also pausing all of his Tech 1 land factories. And actually, Yama getting huge victories. So, yeah, these Harveys are going to have to make their weight count.
Here the Blaze is kind of getting too far forward. I think the Harbies can eat them up.
Yep. Some Tech to point defenses doing a good job as well.
But really, Deathly's force, his problem right now is he doesn't have enough Harbies to spread them out, so Yama can still attack from every angle.
It looks like those gunships for Deathly were lost somehow. I'm not sure how, but maybe
I
an
see
airfight.
see some interceptors here from Yama. Maybe the gunships are sending unprotected.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And the Harvey on the left side is going to have to chase down a whole bunch of Auroras. On the right side, yeah, I think there shouldn't be too much problem for Deathly. He just needs to get engineers to reclaim.
Actually, that Harby might die to these Auroras. The Auroras can kite it all day long.
It's one shot, one kill for the Harvey if it continues to move. Yeah, does it not have the visual? That's kind of sad.
You know, the Aurora's currently dominating the Harpy, but the Aurora's come to a stop, and the Harpy is now running away at the exact moment where it could have ran in.
Yeah, and why is there so much more mass for Yama? Yama absolutely dominating.
Well, he's killed all the mask extractors of Deathly everywhere. You look at the
Yeah,
top and bottom expansions, it's just
that's
ridiculous.
yeah. I think the reclaim is really gonna have to be huge. So far, Deathly is sitting at 1250. Yama sitting at 1300. So Yama is ahead. Some Harpies pushing through the middle. There are Obsidians, and actually Obsidians, I've noticed Obsidians can do a pretty good job fighting Harpies. They'll give you a pretty nice cushion.
I remember when people were playing Galactic War and getting 2-minute Titans, I would just get 4-minute Obsidians and destroy everything. They're really insanely powerful at the moment.
Yeah, and it's that splash, which is really nice. The tech to
Yeah.
transport being very crazy for Deathly.
And don't know what he wants to do with it. Actually, you know, well, the ACU is right there. I was gonna say a Harpy drop might not be so bad. A
Harpy
Harpy
drop
drop
in the back.
yeah, in the back, that could be very good. On the sides, just spread a few Harpies out, kill everything, and even up the mass count.
Definitely. I think this is the time to do Harpy drops here. Early Tech 3 stage before the other player has the Harpies of his own. As long as you don't drop it on the ACU, you're in good shape.
The only problem is winning air, but seeing as Yama doesn't have any Tech 2 air production, the Swift Winds should be able to take air.
Yep, and they are coming out. Yeah, I'm gonna say these Harpies have definitely put Deathly in a good position, but Yama here, I think he's just stacking. He's got Tech 3 Mask Extractors. He
Yeah,
understands that he's got time.
he shouldn't really be in a hurry right now. And he's got a very nice Tech 2 production, so he can keep holding off the Harpies with Obsidians for as long as he needs to. And now we do see the Harpies on transport. First of all, they're going to the ledge. I guess that is a pretty good move with that Harpy.
Yeah, it's gonna deny the ledge.
Though really nothing but Tech 1 mask checkers up here. The more juicy targets are in the back. And actually,
Yeah,
there wouldn't have been anything to stop Deathly from dropping there. I really don't know why he didn't.
yeah. I think it's a long time. It's dangerous to lose that Harpy. It's 800 mass. So if there's some radar that spots it, but still.
An Aurora sitting on the mountain back here, taking free shots at engineers, has got 10 kills. So, a bit of a hero there.
Where is this?
Right behind Deathly's base. It was just shooting at engineers. You can see
Oh
them
wow,
dead.
that's sad. Oh, that's a well placed unit from Yama.
I don't think that's intentional, but
Take it.
whatever gets the job done, you know.
Yeah, that tech to radar is gone for Deathly. That's unfortunate. But I think that tech to transport, what the heck is it doing? It's doing nothing. Deathly here, I think, has the opportunity to do some, to make something happen, and he's not really doing much besides that Harvey drop.
Looks like this Harpy here on the ledge actually able to shoot up and into the Auroras on the side, so he doesn't even need to use the transport for that.
Yep. Yeah, the Harvey gun is always very good.
But here, this is a huge problem for Deathly. I mean, this force here for Yama,
Yeah,
we're,
this is so
we're,
many
we're,
obsidians.
we're looking at 19 Obsidians and 25 Blazes. Just 70 Auroras, it's insane.
Yeah, this is where you need Tech 1 point defenses. Rows and rows.
Actually, a swarm of Tech 1 bombers wouldn't be so bad right now.
Yes,
Just
yes.
spread them everywhere.
The
Because, I
Control
mean, this
G
force.
works beautifully with the Tech 1 bombers. I've been
Yeah.
loving Tech 1 bombers.
So this old beat up transport now has another Harpy, and we'll see where it goes. The one on the left ledge isn't actually doing anything except reclaiming trees.
Yeah, these Harveys are good vets, but there's not many of them. And I think these Obsidians might turn directly at Deathly's base. Deathly might try to rejoin, get all these Harveys together, and maximize the damage. The Harveys are pretty healthy and still have their shields.
Yeah, actually right now, it doesn't look like Deathly will have too many problems, but this is still very
Once
dangerous.
those Obsidians start getting close, the Obsidians haven't had too many shots.
Yeah, it's been all about the blazes. Once the Obsidians get involved, the Harpies are in big trouble, and especially if they get trapped against the wall here.
Oh yeah, this is that scout there not doing a good job. Yeah, you can see how quickly those Harpies lose health. This is where
Yeah, here
point
come the
defenses,
Obsidians.
walls and point defenses here, I think, are obvious thing to do.
Yeah, walls and AoE weapons. Just try to funnel the units into a small area and then destroy them.
And oh, I think Yama sending a whole bunch of units in the opposite direction. I think that kind of killed that assault. I think if he would have sent everything, he would have had a chance.
It looks like Deathly will be gifted lots of reclaim here
That
once
was
he
a
deals with this
huge
attack.
mistake.
Actually,
That's,
he hasn't even lost. He hasn't lost the majority of his build capacity, so
he
this
hasn't
won't
lost
even,
anything, but like a tech 2 point defense. That's it.
this will not hurt him in the slightest. Actually, this is going to help him more. This deposits a lot of Tech 2 Rex directly at his base.
Yeah, I anticipate him upgrading a couple of these factories to Tech 2, Tech 3 in a
You can see
massive
already.
force.
You see Tech 3 mask extractors in the back for Deathly.
Yeah,
He has no problem making those now that he's got all these Obsidian Rex.
imagine he is now 21,000 reclaim, Yama only 17, so Deathly is now ahead. And this Harby's been very disappointing on the left side.
Yeah, it hasn't been doing anything at all.
And that transport hasn't been dropped for a long time either. So Deathly, I don't think he's putting too much energy into this one.
He might be asleep. I don't know.
Yeah, this could be a late night game. Let's see. More, yeah, it looks like a lot of Tech 3 factories now for
And
Yama.
it looks like the perfect timing with these interceptors from Yama. I don't know how he managed to pull that off, but he
See,
will. Is he gonna? Is he actually? This is gonna be another one of those close moments. And it goes. Yeah, he gets it
so
off.
close.
There was 6 health left on that transport. 6 health.
Yeah, very like 41 kill veteran there. I didn't want to lose that.
Actually, this Harby, if it goes all the way to the edge, it can pick off these 2 T2 mask extractors. If it just
Yeah.
keeps walking.
Definitely.
So it's still in a good position. Actually, Deathly can take over this expansion here on the right for Yama if he just moves those Harbies in.
Yes.
He's losing his opportunity very quickly though as Yama reinforces it.
Yeah. So I think the next stage is going to be the Tech 3 Air or experimentals. Or I mean, we could see bigger Tech 3 forces. One thing we haven't seen too much of is shields together with some Tech 3 mobile arty. Tech 3 mobile arty for Aeon, very powerful.
Yeah, actually, the Tech 3 stage in this game has not been that impressive. Just Harbies from both sides. No snipers, no artilleries.
No, and actually a big victory now for Yama. He's really focusing the fire on the left side. These Harbies did a very good job. Huge victory.
And you see this concave that forms when you target something. And
Yeah.
becomes really hard to deal with once they start picking off units one at a time.
Hey, if you think about that, 8 basically per second you deal 2400 damage. So if an ACU was there, an ACU would die in about 4 seconds.
Oh yeah, actually ACUs are extremely fragile if they're unupgraded. They're not Rambo like most people think.
Well, they can be, but they usually are.
Well, yeah, they can be.
You gotta take care of the ACUs.
So I really want to see what Deathly does. I mean, he actually doesn't have the superior eco like I expected because he's done so much teching. You'd think he'd have more mass at this point, but Yama's still leading in terms of mass income.
As Yama's been upgrading for a long time. He's been
But
very, yeah.
the T3 max count is higher for Deathly. It's interesting that Yama is still able to.
And I think there's still a lot of reclamation left for Deathly to go ahead and take.
Looks like this air fight will go Yama's way. There are Swift Twins, but I think the numbers here are a bit too much.
Yeah, unless there's a lot of micro, but no, even with micro. Unless there's a big mistake from Yama, which I don't think he's going to make.
Yeah, Deathly gets out of there.
I can't believe in the back here, these mask extractors have been protected by a single Aurora. Those 3 tech to mask extractors. The simplest target for Deathly. And some bombers for Deathly.
And
Or
they
for
have not
Yama.
been touched. 5 kills for both of them. So, actually, they're just targeting the reclaiming engineers, which is a very good target, actually. You just want to deny the opponent reclaiming.
What happened to the Harby on the top? Did I forget that or miss it? On the top ledge? I think it died.
Yeah, it got killed by Harbies from the bottom, I'm pretty sure.
That
I think
sucks.
there were 5 Harbies. They just shot at it from bottom. You can see it dead right there.
It looks like Deathly is going to push back against this victorious force from Yama, which will retreat, but on the other side, a superior force from Yama is going to
And,
run over with a
and
bunch of Tech 1 point defense.
and what Yama has been very bad about this game is when he wins something on the right, he just rushes in, whereas he could go in a circle and kill everything on the outside.
Yeah, there's no
I mean, he
reason
doesn't.
Deathly should have anything but his main base here.
Yeah, Yama doesn't need to kill the main base right now. It doesn't have anything that can threaten him. He just needs to kill everything on the outside first.
Yeah, Deathly is now with 6 Tech 3 mask extractors.
Yeah, he's really going insane with the eco here.
But it's impossible to catch up, I think, to yeah, the eco is just a little too good. Too many mask structures, which are actually not that well defended. I think a couple well placed drops from Deathly could even this out. But he does not have numbers on land. There's really big Harvey forces, I think, on both sides. And actually, Yama really pulled away this force from Deathly and is going to regroup, I think, with more units. No, it's just going to push back. Even numbers, but better scouting from Yama.
And really, if it continues like this, Yama should be the winner. Because, I mean, he just continuously out techs Deathly. He's got better production, so Deathly's going to have to find something to change the game with.
It definitely has had a couple opportunities, I think, given to him by Yama, but overall, Yama has played better. And now
He's
this
got
is massive force from Yama is moving in. This could be very dangerous.
Yeah, he's got forces on both sides and going through the middle. Huge Harvey numbers in all of those forces.
I want to see what the
It
total
just
Harvey number is for Yama. 48 Harveys, and Deathly is at 18. So a difference of 30 Harveys is a very big difference. That thing is bigger
and
than experimental.
and you can see now Deathly making Tech 1 units out of his Tech 3 factory that has hundreds of engineers around it, so he might just be giving up right now.
Yeah, I think he has to give up.
I mean, that is what he's doing right now is just a sign that he doesn't want to play anymore.
This is where I think more splash weapons. This is I think where Cybern is so good. They're really good against these slowing forces with Tech 3 artillery.
Yeah, if there were some trebuchets here, this would look much different.
Yeah, trebuchets and bricks. Cybern really ruling this Tech 3 stage, but with Aeon on Aeon, it's really numbers.
And
And
really, there's no way back for Deathly at this point.
yeah, very methodical. I'd love to see Yama recycle a couple of these front Harveys because they're really taking quite a bit of damage. No reason to have them lead. Get some in the back, get some fresh health. That's one thing about the Harveys, they do have that shield.
Yeah, that can be good if you can keep the injured ones in the back. I do like to think of my units as being injured instead of damaged. Makes it feel more personal.
Yeah, I like the double lines formation with multiple units, Auroras, Harveys. You just do two different selections and you just keep moving one in front of the other. It really maximizes the damage. Some of the units that have a little longer range, it's some very simple micro.
Looks like power is the target. Yama wants to make sure that Deathly doesn't have capacity to overcharge, and there goes Deathly. He's given up.
Yep, 30 minutes. I think it was a pretty good open palms, pretty standard. Deathly tried some crazy things, but overall, Yama was just a little too good, too far
Yeah,
ahead.
the eco for Yama. He was just played like a machine in that one.
But I still can't believe so many great targets not taken by Deathly. Yeah, unfortunate. But let's see if we can find some more good games.
So, hello and welcome to Salt Rock Colony. We got a game between Deathly and Zlo, two players from today's tourney. In case people watched that, they're on the same team, and I do believe they won it. And Salt Rocks, we'll see Aeon versus Cybern. See what Napalm thinks about this one.
Okay, so once again, we have a heavy reclaim map, and this map is rich in both energy and mass reclaim. So really, you can get away without building a single mech with your ACU early on if you want to. I like to go with one because you can just get to the rocks,
Yeah, factory
which
attack
look,
move. Yeah,
yeah, they look small, but actually they are worth quite a bit.
yeah. There's so many of them. A factory attack move into this position, you can get a few hundred very easily. Plus, you got the civilians. It's usually where you have the two expansions. The ACUs usually meet here on the bottom at this spot, and then there's a lot of raids going up.
And it also means it's very common to see players try to attack along these rocks, and you can see Deathly starting an
Yeah,
attack right away.
let's slide assault bot. I'm gonna have to use my keyboard. I usually have a shift on my mouse, so I can I don't have to use my keyboard, but we'll see. So it looks like second air from Deathly, second land from Zlo, and looks like second or third, third engineer from Zlo. And Zlo going first three engineer, then a Mantis, and we might see a battle between a Mantis and a light assault bot here.
What I'm curious about here is that Zlo is going for a second land after 6 P-gens, which is slightly power heavy, but I don't see him going for the rocks. So the P-gen would imply he's going for tech, but since he's not picking up the rocks, it's interesting
Looks
why
like
he's doing
Deathly
that.
avoided the Mantis. See if he can make that count. And looks like Zlo will see it. He will retreat with his engineer. This is actually a good move from Zlo, and I actually had things pause on me here for some reason.
And there Zlo finds the flare with his scout. He immediately pulls the Mantis back, and the ACU will try to intercept and successfully defends the engineer. So,
But I think for Zlo, that could have been a problem with his builder, although he stopped with his ACU, so he's not going to do any kind of stalling. So he'll be fine. Really, his engineer up top is quite exposed.
yeah, if Deathly were to make a bomber out of his upcoming air factory, that engineer could be in trouble, but it'll pick up all the civilian mass pretty easily.
Yeah, there's nothing happening up top, and actually around the Hydra, Deathly very aggressive toward the Hydra on 4 land factories. This is a bit unusual. I usually don't see players send so many engines, and there was quite a bit of protection with this Aurora from Deathly. And it looks like
So,
second air from Deathly is coming out pretty
yep.
quick here. We'll see if that counts for anything.
And now we see Zlo making even more power and then air, and still not picking up any of the rocks. It's very strange.
Yeah, I think he's
Actually,
getting a little bit of reclaim off the civs. He was a little quicker to the civs. So
the
there's
civs
about
on this map, these little pockets of civs really are worth a lot of mass, but it's still a bit strange that he's not going for the rocks at
they're a
all.
little further. Yeah, it's the most. I think I've seen everybody do that. But and actually, Deathly was anticipating that. That's exactly where he sent his flare, but it didn't work out. So
And now
far,
Zlo getting the Hydra as well, but much less aggressively. But that means that pretty soon Zlo is going to have a lot of power. You can see how much power he's built with his ACU, and then he's going to get the Hydra.
yeah, and I'm sure this will be a big air fight, and whoever wins air on this map will have a big advantage. You do want to avoid the civs in the middle. 4 Dequan flags.
But also at the same time, if you can take out the T1 PDs, those buildings are worth a really high amount of mass. I don't know what it is, but it's in the thousands.
Yeah, for sure. And people usually take a very long time to get there. It seems very obvious to just go. It looks like Interceptor is going to be over Zlo. Zlo is just starting his Interceptor, so this could be a problem for Zlo. Zlo might be forced into making a point defense and also early a recon for Deathly, as Deathly continues to
Yeah,
push to the top as well.
Deathly probably feels pretty confident about his expanding engineers now. He knows there's no bombers coming for him. And at the same time, he denies air scouting for Zlo. So
Yes.
he's very protected right now.
So this will be a 2 versus 1, should be easy victory for Deathly. Meanwhile, Zlo is stealing quite a bit of mass from these civs. Very slow ACU. Actually, Deathly's even slower with his ACU, but this engineer from Zlo getting a lot of mass.
Now some Tech 1 anti-air coming out of the factories for Zlo. He doesn't want to lose air so early in the game. I mean, I've seen players go really early Tech 2 air if they feel they've won air within the first 5 minutes.
Looks like
That could be
third
very
bomber.
bad.
This bomber could be very interesting from Deathly if he makes it count. And also Zlo forced into making quite a bit of flak. That is a lot of flak. Although Cyber Flak can't shoot at land, his forces are not nearly as powerful as they should be.
Yeah. Although, actually, Cyber and Tech 1 mobile flak is not that bad at killing mass extractors if you set it to
Yeah,
ground fire.
it is
So,
much weaker in health than the other flak.
yeah. And it's horribly inaccurate. But against buildings, it can actually be pretty good.
Yeah, it looks like the bomber is going to go to the top. This is a good move. It'll be this engineer for the Zlo is it's going to be a big overkill. A couple Auroras, and let's see if this other NG. Now this bomber for Deathly is a bit disappointing.
But now we see an interceptor scouting in front, so the next bombing run should be pretty good. There's a whole bunch
Oh
of
yeah,
NGs
this
here,
will be excellent. 4.
and the bomb just
Oh,
barely gets off
that was
and
very close.
takes out 5 engineers from Zlo.
Yeah, that was definitely a
It's,
good
ac-
bomber.
it's actually the majority of Zlo's build power right now. It's a huge hit for him to take.
Yeah, and actually the number of factories for Zlo is quite low. Deathly, I think is even, but he's also got a pretty heavy naval build. He's got 2 engineers on naval factories with frigates.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the naval factory for Deathly, so he's very concerned about this.
Point defenses from
I mean,
both
I mean,
players. That's
yeah, neither one of them wants to take any risk. I mean, Zlo has it on slightly higher ground, so maybe a better position for his.
yeah.
But since it's kind of to the side, it gives Deathly a bit of an option to run through the middle.
Yeah, on the other side, we do see Deathly doing quite a bit of reclaim that you asked for early on. And actually comparing the reclamation numbers, 2,000 for Deathly's Law at almost 2,000, so about 100 behind.
And Zlo's still not picking up the rocks, so it's basically civilian reclaim versus rock reclaim, and it's dead even so far.
Yeah, I think finally Law will begin to pick those up. We'll see. Often on this map, people do get the ACU gun and try to push the other person back. We might see that. And actually, big map advantage for Deathly. Although Zlo has upgraded, he's getting for his 3rd Tech 2 Mask Extractor. I hadn't seen that. It's quite a bit of upgrade, plus a Tech 2 land factory with
a quick Tech 2.
rhinos.
Rhinos. I don't know if rhinos are necessarily the best units here. There's lots of uneven terrain. Hoplites might be a much better idea, especially since Zlo already controls the high ground.
Yeah, I think hoplites would be good against the Auroras. It's always a good idea.
And here it's a very bad position for Zlo to engage because the Auroras can always just run onto the water and then they can't even be touched.
Yeah, I think Zlo is in a position to lose quite a few mask extractors, and doesn't have that luxury. Even though he is upgrading quite heavily, I don't think there's any upgrades yet for Tech 2 mask extractors. Actually, no, there is two Tech 2 mask extractors for Deathly, but he's
And
quite a bit behind.
actually, if these frigates were to get in behind, they could be a big problem. I mean, this frigate here could take out the Hydro.
Yeah, that would be a good move from Deathly. And Zlo here could be all alone with his ACU, as it looks like Tech 2 engineering suite going up for Deathly. And he's pushing all of his land forces to the top, so he's going to get a nice secure base on the bottom with his ACU, meanwhile pushing with land on the top and having total control on a Navy.
I don't think that's an engineering suite. I think he's going for a gun. Just judging by the speed of how fast it's going up.
That's true. I was looking at the power cost for it. Usually the gun costs 300, but we'll see.
Oh yeah, you're right. It
that
looks
one.
like for both upgrades it's 300. I thought since it was Aeon it's less, but looks like it is Tech 2 engineering.
Yeah.
But huge numbers for Deathly on top. Absolutely colossal advantage. He should be pushing right now.
Yeah, this Rhino that's coming in there is going to have to get a lot of kills. And also the Hydro and Mask Extractor denied by Deathly on the bottom. As
And now Zlo breaking through the middle. He's going through the civilians, and that's a lot of reclaim available to him now.
oh yeah, that's a good move. That might be his lifeline back, because at this point he's not in good shape. So Rhinos plus civilian reclaim in the middle are going to have to make the difference. And I'd really like to see Deathly do something else. He's going Tech 2 with his Navy. That's a very big investment. That's a bit risky.
And at the same time, he's going for a TML in the front. He's looking to deny Zlo's eco, while
Yeah,
he puts
this will
all
be
his
good.
eco into Tech 2.
It's also nice how he's using the civilian walls for protection. It'll be very difficult to break through this position of Deathly. Meanwhile, on top, we do see this battle.
Assuming Deathly doesn't run too far into Zlo's units, he should be able to win. And actually,
Yeah.
numbers might win it anyway.
Yeah, those Medusas are pretty good, but there's just not enough of them. As a couple Rhinos are going to come in. And this
now
artillery
Zlo-
from man is so good.
Zlo with now 4 Tech 2 land factories, and he's sending all his production to the bottom. So he's mainly concerned about this upcoming Tech 2 PD creep from Deathly. You see the first one's already up.
Yeah, but there's so many walls, and this tech to point defense will be a big nuisance. As we see the Rhinos clean up, 14 kills, 15 kills between them, and actually it's going to be a nice piece of reclaim for Deathly, or for Zlo.
Some mobile missile launchers would be very useful here for Zlo, but he's not producing any of them.
Yeah, and here we're going to see a point defense versus Rhinos, and point defense will win. Meanwhile, Tech 2, we have a destroyer started by Deathly. That might be a game ender unless Zlo can get some Tech to air.
Yeah, if Deathly can get that and then keep it away from Zlo's land units, that would be a game ender.
Yeah,
He
just
gets it behind Zlo's base, so Zlo will have to find something to deal with that.
yeah, I really don't see what Zlo can do. Maybe push with his Rhinos, take over the top, but those Tech 1 point defenses, more of them going up before Deathly, will be a big nuisance. Maybe pushing through the middle, actually breaking the sieves, taking the Rhinos directly at Deathly's base might be a good move.
Yeah, actually cutting across here and going down, there's really not that much protection for Deathly's base at all. He doesn't even have Tech 2 land production.
Yeah, and in terms of power, Deathly is quite a bit ahead, but all the power is really concentrated. There's nothing between these Rhinos and that power except the sieves.
And we see some Medusas being produced out of the forward land factory for Zlo. So he wants to use those to deal with the point defenses, presumably. He's actually going to go around them first. But I don't think he realizes just how big of an opportunity he has to go and strike at Deathly's power.
Oh, we see first cruise missiles in the air. Looks like Tech 2 mass projectors are going to be sniped. There is no TMD and no Tech 2 engineers. I think Deathly is in position to wipe out Zlo at base.
The TML can hit everywhere on the map pretty much, and the destroyer is now out and going to the top, so it can probably help deal with those Tech 2 land units. And then Zlo really won't have much left.
Yeah, unless Zlo makes a big push right now and really gets a big advantage, not much is going to happen except Deathly winning. Although Zlo making big progress with those Rhinos and Medusas up top, and there hasn't been too much upgrading for Deathly. He's getting his fourth Tech 2 mass extractor.
Yes, he is, and actually, with Zlo pushing all this stuff on the top, it's definitely cutting into Deathly's mass advantage. You can see units straight through the middle for Zlo. A pack of Rhinos, which can pretty much roll through here.
Yeah,
And
there's
also,
nothing. Yeah.
yeah, actually, he completely avoided Deathly's ace. He's definitely going for. Oh, never mind. I thought he was making another TML.
And
He
I think
actually has
this is
another
where,
missile in the clip.
yeah, he needs to fire that. There's no reason to wait. I think no TMD is up now for Zlo. And I think this Navy here, it's a big investment. And you can get a lot of Rhinos for all that cost of that Navy. And I think that's exactly what Deathly's
Yeah,
experiencing.
suddenly, Deathly's position doesn't look nearly as good as it did a few seconds ago.
Not at all. And you can see Zlo really using a lot of his interceptors to get good scouting. And he really attacked all the weak points. Medusa's cleaning everything else up. And I think Zlo is about to get a whole bunch of reclaim. He's at 8,300 already. Deathly only at 3,600, and the top should be populated now by Zlo. This destroyer for Deathly needs to come in and start doing damage. It's absolutely worthless where it is.
Yeah, he really needs to start doing damage to Zlo's base. He needs to make sure that Zlo doesn't do more damage to him. Because in this situation, it's going to be who can do more damage to the other's base. And these missiles are being fired in random directions from Deathly. I think those are two wasted missiles.
I don't understand why he shot that.
He's hitting Tech 1 land factors.
The missile costs 200 plus a pretty heavy power cost. The Tech 1 land factory is only 240, so that's absolutely
There
wasted.
is TMD inside Zlo's base, but I mean, even the Hydra would be a better target than a Tech 1 land
Yeah, you
factory.
hold on to those missiles and then shoot the ACU in a battle, I think. Oh, and we've just seen this game turn on its head.
Yeah, actually, Deathly is in a very bad position right now.
Yeah, don't
From
make
when
Navy
he
on
was
Salt Rock. That's the lesson. Yeah, these Rhinos absolutely demolishing. Second destroyer's out. Needs to get kills fast.
There is actually a forward Tech 2 mass extractor for no apparent reason for Zlo, and Deathly has a missile. He might as well hit that.
Yeah, I think Deathly hasn't seen much of anything for a long time. I don't think he knows what's going on.
The thing is, though, two destroyers on the field, even though Deathly is getting his base demolished, he can also demolish Zlow's base.
Yeah, and I think one of these destroyers is finally getting in a position to do that. Actually, taking out the TMD would be a good move. And he should, well, I don't know if he knows about the position of Zlow's ACU. He can get close and target those tech to mass extractors, target the HQ, and target the power, but don't just shoot at random units. But total devastation.
Yeah, now he's moving his ACU towards the Rhinos, and he needs to be very careful here because
He needs to
if he runs,
overcharge.
if he would to, yeah, he doesn't actually have energy storage.
Oh, that's horrible. And he doesn't have the power, really, even if he did have energy storage.
That we could be looking at game over right now.
Yeah, he needs to get close to his destroyer. So actually, his point defense is doing a good job.
And we see a random cruiser. Is that a cruiser from Deathly being
No, I think
queued up?
that's a destroyer.
Everything looks the same to me.
Yeah, it's not going to make a
But
difference. And Deathly, yeah, he's going after the Tech 2 mask extractors. Won't really make a difference.
so now Deathly, I mean, he has a chance of surviving this with the Rhinos if he can shoot the pack of Rhinos with his destroyer. It's really not looking good for him right now. He's got Auroras moving in, and actually Deathly will probably pull this off.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is so close.
the Rhino's not shooting him anymore,
Oh,
so
it's so
he.
lucky, but there's a big new wave coming in.
Yeah, well, if he can get to the water, he can start completing the base trade here that he has set up. Zlo with the gun moving in on the
Oh,
destroyer.
yeah, that's gonna be horrible. Yeah,
Is it within range?
I think
Yeah, it
it might
definitely
be.
is. It's just barely within range, and it
Oh, and
moves out just in time.
Zlo missing a huge opportunity. What the heck? That's ridiculous.
Does
But
Zlo have power storage? Zlo doesn't have power storage either.
these people are just noobs. I mean, but the question for Deathly now is where does he make his power? Where does he make a base? He's completely lost land, and Zlo taking another shot at Destroyer, not getting an
No,
overcharge.
this is definitely the time for Deathly to go Ras. Of course, it's where he's gonna get his power from.
Yeah, I don't know if
Three
he can afford
destroyers on
that.
the field now.
Yeah, those
Destroyers
destroyers
are
actually,
actually.
if they get all over Zlo and Zlo is not careful, it's gonna be trouble. But I think Zlo, I mean, he just needs to go stand in the middle of the map. That's all.
Yeah, the only thing is Deathly has absolutely no land base whatsoever left. So all Zlo needs to do is park in the middle and then come up with some counter to the destroyers and then win.
Yeah, maybe the destroyers can secure an area, and if Deathly can get on the uh, his ACU on land, get some power. There's a lot of reclaim around, but it'll be very difficult, I think.
He's now down to just the power of his ACU. I mean, he can't even produce anything with that level of power. He's trying to build on the old power Rex, but even
Yeah,
that's going to go at a very slow rate.
yeah, this is like starting over. That's one thing I like about this game is that you can really go back to the beginning. It's going back to the beginning plus a whole bunch of wrecks, so it's not
Looks
quite.
like some desperate missiles might have been aimed at Zlow's ACU, but they run straight into the TMD.
Yeah, yeah. The lesson is do not make navy. Yeah, he was in such good position. If he would have gone tech to the land with Aeon, made blazes and obsidians, that would have been game over.
It probably would have been or just standard Tech 1 spam. I mean, he had much better eco, much better map control. And technically, it's still not over. I guess he has the capacity to do insane damage, but it's much more difficult for him now.
Yeah, I think the second wave of units, although these point defenses for Deathly that are sort of scattered around everywhere, they if Zlo isn't careful, and Deathly
There,
actually,
there goes one Rhino there to attack one PD. And yeah, definitely coming out of the water. Looks like some scouts. Zlo wants to feed him some veterancy.
yeah, I think these destroyers. I'm not sure what would be good to spread them out to try to deny as much land as possible, or to keep them in one spot for an opportunity to kill the ACU.
I think killing the main base, especially killing the HQ, would be a good move, and then spreading them out. But it
Yeah,
definitely wants to take out the main eco of Zlo first. Zlo now attacking up the mexes in the middle and going for torpedo bombers.
yeah,
That's,
he really has a very secure base in the middle with Tech 2 power, and yeah, those torpedo bombers will put the game out of reach.
yeah, mobile missile launchers already making life difficult for Deathly with his destroyers, and there's actually really not that much left in Zlow's main base to attack. There's some Tech 1 P-Gens and some T1 Mexes, not much else.
And this is actually where the frigate is quite nice. It's providing the only radar that Deathly has. And it
And
looks like
Deathly
that
now,
power
yeah,
for Deathly is gone.
he's losing the small beginnings of a base that he had started.
Yeah, that's very demoralizing.
Actually, if Zlow were to take out those frigates, it would definitely be game over with no radar coverage for Deathly.
Yeah. Oh, and
And
maybe Zlo can do an overcharge once again.
he
Zlo
does.
playing very dangerous, I think.
Yeah, actually, if the destroyers get just out of range and start targeting him, he could be in trouble here.
Yeah, he should always be able to out micro, but he does have a little stealth. Yeah, he has stealth.
But once you target something, the stealth doesn't matter. You'll keep shooting it forever.
And actually, the Rhino numbers for Zlo
And
have gone down.
Is Zlo going below 5k HP here?
I think so. This is where a cruise missile would be nice if Zlo is to just stop.
There are two missiles in the clip.
Yeah, except that
And a second destroyer now targets Zlo. Zlo is in real trouble here. I
oh
don't
wow,
understand.
Zlo should have
Keep-
just stayed in the middle.
I mean, maybe he should
Oh wow.
make a tech, maybe he should make a Tech 2 transport. I don't know.
Some dancing from Zlo.
That's he just needs to survive long enough for his torpedo bombers to take care of the destroyers. But now he's just 2 shots away from death now.
Yeah.
Stays still for a little bit.
Oh, I don't know if he did this on purpose. Oh, one destroyer is down.
Yeah, one destroyer down, and this is gonna come down to the wire now. And there's
Oh,
130, 500.
One more. Will he dodge it? Oh no! Okay, I can't believe we just saw that.
Oh
Wow.
my god, look at the map. Look at the map. Definitely with 20 power to as low as 12k.
I'm really happy we chose this replay. We actually didn't watch this beforehand. Oh, okay. This is definitely gonna be part of this video. So we'll look for another one. This is definitely good.